I've served on this committee for nearly 30 years. In that time, I've attended countless nomination hearings, providing an opportunity for members to determine if nominees are qualified. Nomination hearings like this one today are an essential part of the Senate's role in providing advice and consent on presidential nominees. This constitutional duty is a critical check on the executive branch, and it has never been more important that the Senate exercise this duty because we now have a president and an administration determined to use every opportunity to push the bounds of power. I'm not going to revisit the nomination of Todd Blanche. We spent a good part of yesterday morning in this committee discussing his worthiness for that position. But I do want to say that there are some elements underway in this administration that need to be addressed by Congress, I hope, if not by the courts. Dramatic changes. Corruption. Corruption used to happen behind closed doors. Now the doors are wide open. You can see exactly what's going on. First year in office, second term for Donald Trump was a good year for him. $1.4 billion at least, some say $2 billion. An amazing, amazing amount of money for anyone who would be president of the United States. And unfortunately, the fingerprints on that $2 billion involves the crypto industry, cryptocurrency. They have their fingerprints on every act of corruption in Washington. And we see members of the cabinet, would-be members of the cabinet, with personal holdings who are trying to explain their relationship with the crypto bunch. Judges may ultimately make the decision on this. That's why nominees will be asked some important questions. Insider trading boost. Did you read about Truth Social? For $100,000 a month, just $1.2 million a year, we're going to give you the edge on information, official information from this administration. You may get 30 seconds. Maybe that's all you need to punch the right button on the computer and make a fortune. $100,000 a month. Was that sneaky, behind-the-scenes strategy? No way. It was advertised on the front page. Want to buy into this new information for insider trading? Give the president's company $100,000 a month. Does that sound right to everybody here? The third thing is U.S. attorneys. For the record, in President Trump's first term, over 80, almost 90, maybe I'm off a few, U.S. attorneys were approved by this committee by voice vote and then approved on the floor by voice vote. I'm talking about Trump administration 0.1, 1.0. Now we go through each and every one of these U.S. attorneys and have a fight as to whether or not we're going to have the ultimate last word on their selection or whether they'll be acting U.S. attorneys indefinitely. That's a change. What brought it about? I'll tell you exactly what brought it about. The decision by one senator from Indiana, now Vice President of the United States, to require separate roll calls on every U.S. attorney under the Biden administration. He started it. I tried 3 or 4 times to get him to reconsider it and to go back to the bipartisan approach. He wouldn't do it, and now we're stuck with it. We spend more time on the floor voting for U.S. attorney nominees than we should. I hope we can return to the days where we trusted one another and didn't have this kind of arrangement. We're wasting our time in the Senate. In closing, I want to note that 2 of the witnesses before us have been nominated to fill vacancies in the U.S. Sentencing Commission. Congress created the Sentencing Commission in 1984, charged it with the critical task of promoting transparency and consistency in federal criminal sentencing. The commission collects and analyzes data and then employs its expertise to help guide Congress in setting sentencing policy to guide the federal judiciary in making important sentencing decisions. Members of the commission are tasked with the responsibility of establishing practices and policies that promote proportionality in sentencing and reduce sentencing disparities. They must carefully consider revisions to sentencing guidelines as they forever impact the lives of those facing the criminal justice system. The commission has long operated in a bipartisan manner, a reflection not just of the statutory mandate for bipartisanship among commission members, but also of the consensus-driven approach embraced by those who have served on this important body. During the Biden administration, I was proud to lead the effort to reestablish the commission's quorum with a full bipartisan slate of nominees so that it could continue its important work. Federal judges rely on sentencing guidelines promulgated by this commission for one of the most important aspects of their jobs, deciding on the appropriate penalty for a defendant. Thus, it is critical that members confirmed to the commission have the technical expertise, experience, and understanding so that they can face the gravity of their work and understand its impact on the criminal justice system. I look forward to hearing from the nominees. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kennedy for introduction.
For nearly 3 decades, Durbin says he has participated in nomination hearings. That experience is important because the Senate's constitutional responsibility to provide advice and consent isn't supposed to be a rubber stamp. The framers deliberately gave the Senate a role in evaluating presidential nominees because executive power needs a check. A president gets to nominate people, but the Senate gets to examine their qualifications, judgment, independence, and fitness for public office.